Alright, folks. Looks like today I have a game for you. I have Super Dungeon Explorer. Yes, I love this game. It's my new favorite game. Soda Pop Miniatures does it, and I guess it's part of Cool Mini or not as well. Um, Best way to explain this game, besides the fact that it's awesome, is it's a tabletop game. It does have miniatures in it that you have to put together. You do not have to paint them, but they look awesome when they're painted if you're good at painting. Um, and it's anime chibi style, and it's very like 8-bit style. Like if you were to think about like Final Fantasy, kind of like dungeon crawl kind of games. It's tribute to that, but it's in tabletop format. So it's really cool. It's really interesting. So that's the box right there. I'm going to do a little bit of rules in it. Not really. I'm just going to kind of go through it. There are different modes. There's 8-bit mode, which is like a regular 2-hero game. And then there's 16-bit mode. I believe that's 3-hero game. Mini boss and dungeon boss. The 8-bit mode, sorry, has a mini boss. And then there's super mode, which is 2 mini bosses, one dungeon boss, and up to 5 heroes. So that's the one I'm doing. I've played the 8-bit mode. I can't beat the 8-bit mode for some reason. Um, I beat the 16-bit mode, and now it's super mode, which is 5 heroes. So this is a really fun game. It's 2-player. You don't have to play with 2 players. You can play with multiple people playing multiple heroes. But there is the hero side, and then there's the console. Cool, huh? Console. And the console spawns the monsters and tries to kill the heroes. The heroes go through the dungeon and get the loot and beat up the monsters, and in the end try to unleash the dungeon boss and beat him. So that's the first picture. All right, so here's the next picture. Here's the setup. Top left corner, we have all the meters. There's a power meter, which indicates the increasing difficulty of monsters within the dungeon. It goes up whenever there's damage dealt, whether it be the heroes or the monsters. Then you have an inner one, which is the yellow one, and that one is the lootometer. That's every time the hero does damage, the loot meter goes up. Every 3, there's a loot marker, and you get to pick a loot. Pretty easy. Top in the top, you see one card, and that's the dungeon um, effects. Um, this is Starfire, who is the dungeon boss. Starfire is a dragon. His effect always is, when he's not in play, always is, whenever you get near one of these spawn points, if you're next to it, adjacent to it, you get lit on fire. That's the only effect so far before he comes out. And you see those little pieces there, the red towers with skulls on top, those are the spawn points. There is one spawn point per hero. There's one tile, which you see those little tiles with the hex key, well, not hex keys, square keys. Um, those are the different tiles for the dungeon. There will be one tile per hero. So you see 5 tiles out there. There are 5 heroes. This is super mode. All right. Then you see the little white chests there. Those are my treasure chests, different from loot. The treasures are usually better. Well, always better, actually. They usually have increased stats, of course. Then near the spawn points, you have the minions and denizens. Those are the bad guys. Basically, the console spawns them on uh, the other player's turn. In this case, will be my girlfriend. And off to the left, you see some of my heroes. They're starting to get painted up. Down in the corner, you have my hero cards. Each of them start off with potions because they are ready to fight inside the dungeon. They have come prepared. All right, here's the next picture of my heroes. The heroes can spawn at any entrance that's not connected to any of the tiles. So you can see here, I spawn, and you spawn 4 ways. So here you can see from the entrance here, I spawned 2 up, 1 left diagonal, 1 left. And I put the marker down, and I spawned my heroes. I have 5 heroes you can see there. I have the one with the spikes um, is the paladin. The one underneath him is the druid. The one with the orange hair is the mage. The one with the red hair is the barbarian, and at the top with the yellow hair and blue feathers is the ranger. And above you can see to my right, above right, is the chest up there. To the left is the spawn point in this dungeon tile, and the bad guys spawn there. Um, every spawn point can spawn 4 skulls, which is the console's minions and denizens costs. Skulls worth of bad guys or minions or denizens a turn. So at the beginning, there is a 2 cost ironclad guy with the shield and sword, and then there's 2 gougers with spears in this dungeon. Again, every turn they spawn more. Every time I do damage and the power gauge goes up, there's a skull counter, and that increases the difficulty because now the console, which is the other player, can spawn more per token. So if she or he power gauges up 2 skulls a turn, then one one spawn point counter can spawn 4 basic and then 2 more with the skull tokens. So it starts getting harder, as you can see. So this is the beginning. So in this picture, you can see the dice have different things on them. This is the initiative roll. This is to see who gets to go first. Now, in this game, it's a back and forth kind of turn based, almost like a RPG, like Final Fantasy, turn based, counter, time based kind of thing. There are different dice. There's blue and there's red and there's green. They each have different symbols on them. All of them, except for the green dice, has a blank face. The blue has a 1 and 2 on it and a heart. The red dice have a 1, a 2, a 3, a blank, and a potion. The green has a 1 through 4 and a potion and heart combined face. So obviously the green dice is the best of the dice. All right, in this picture, my initiative roll highest is 2 red dice on my mage. You always choose any hero with the highest willpower. And of course, the console's highest was a blue and red. So we both roll. She rolled a blank and a heart, which equals nothing. I rolled 2 stars and a potion, which equals 2 stars. You don't count any of those special rules for the initiative roll. So, bouncing back and forth, the heroes and the console activate. The console always activates when it is her or his turn, 4 skulls worth of models. I won the roll, so I activate only 1 hero. So I decided to try to clear as much as I can. I chose the ranger to activate first. She has a special ability that does like a little AoE burst. It's called burst, and it's burst 1, so anything 1 square away will take the damage. So I decided to target the spawn point. Targeting spawn points is a good idea because 1, it gets rid of areas where the minions and denizens can spawn. And further on in the game, it actually gives you, well, the console, extra turns with the dungeon boss. So if there was more spawn points out, that dungeon boss becomes even more scary because they can activate per turn that many more times if there's spawn counters. All right, so I target the spawn point there and do the burst damage. And there's my roll, a 1 and a blank face, which isn't a very good roll, but it's enough to do some damage. All right, so in this picture, as you can see, the gougers have no armor, right? So I beat their armor value, which was 0, so they die. I did not wound the spawn counter because the spawn counter has 1 armor base, and the ironclad, or iron scale, has, I believe, 2 armor, so I didn't do anything to him. So what happens there is the power gauge goes up 2 because I wounded twice. and the loot meter will go up twice, putting me 1 away from getting a loot counter and 1 away from the console getting a skull. So I'm clearing it out. Pretty good first move. And pow, right? I get the 2 stars right there. And that's just to hit the spawn counter. I wanted to kill the spawn counter to stop her from spawning in this tile. That leaves me more chance of getting to the next tile and destroying that spawn counter and getting that chest as well. So 4 stars on the 2 red will beat the 1 armor value on that spawn counter, causing a wound, and obviously moving the meter up as well. And here's a better picture of the all the meters and where everything goes, like the loot and treasure and the dungeon effects. So we have the power gauge, which is all the way that big ring on the outside. As you can see, it starts and it goes all the way around and unleashes certain creatures and whatnot. So there's the wounds going down power gauge, and you can see the loot meter going down. I hit the loot. I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4 gets you a skull, 3 gets you a loot. So it's more a little bit in the favor of the heroes, but it's well balanced game, so it doesn't matter too much. So as you can see, I cause 3 wounds and I'll get a loot. Let's see what it is.